I've been on this journey my whole life because it started with my name, Talitha Cumi, which literally means little girl, wake up. And I can't say it's been easy. There's been a lot of bumps and bruises along the way. But I believe life is all in your decision making. The I Am Talitha Cumi show is a combination of things that I love to talk about. And I want to enlighten you, encourage you, and inspire you to be the best you can be with some help from my guest. Let's talk about it.
And we are live here at the Botham Jean Foundation Gala event, you guys.
I feel like there are so many people, like you said, that are in pain from stress or whatever it is, and we're going to the doctor. They're giving us this medication. This medication sometimes is making us worse. Sometimes the medication is not working. Sometimes the medication has so many side effects.
So is there anything that I left?
No, other than my name is pronounced Georgia Nay.
Georgia, I was pronouncing that all wrong. Georgia Nay. My bad. I hate when people pronounce my name wrong too. Georgia Nay. So I'm gonna be calling her Gina. So yes, that's cool.
That's
You know, okay,
yeah.
all right. Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Talitha Cumi, and I want to welcome you to the I Am Talitha Cumi show on Vegas Hype Media. Thanks so much for tuning in, and remember, you can catch us here every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. on our Food for the Soul Media Group FB page and YouTube station. Also on Vegas Hype Media's FB page and YouTube station, and the Mixler app for those of you who may just want to listen to us live. Shout out to Quan, keeping us live on the ones and twos and keeping us looking and sounding right. And also, I got to shout out my baby, Big Bobby B, who's alive in our chat room right now. So please make sure to go to the chat room and leave your comments. So I am talking to my guest about some stuff you may just want to know about. But first, let me give my disclaimer as always. These are my opinions, not fact, just my opinions. And some of the opinions of our guests are not always the opinions of the I Am Talitha Cumi show, Food for the Soul Media Group, or Vegas Hype Media. And if you want to weigh in, leave us a comment in the chat room on our YouTube or FB page. And you guys, please make sure to go to my YouTube station, hit that subscribe button for me, and go to my Instagram and follow me at Food for the Soul Media Group and I Am Talitha _Cumi. So nothing major going on this week except the bipolar weather we've been having, and and we have some great things in the works for next month, and I have some cool guests coming on and some guests coming back. So our theme for the show, our theme for the month, has been show and tell, and this is our last show of the month. Last week we had Coach Amber J, and we discussed moving with meaning. And joining me on today's show is my special guest, Kelly Kristo. Is it Kristo?
Yes.
Kristo. Okay, got it. I got it right. So I want to first start with my first segment before I introduce her, you guys. So did you know that Nevada is the 40th? This is what this says. So I looked up these facts, and I can't say, I'm not going to tell you guys that they're all true, but I looked them up, and these are what they're saying. So Nevada is the 40th largest school system in the United States, serving 482,750 students across the 741 public schools for the 2023 school year. There are 165 private schools, also serving 29,857 students. The national report, America's Best and Worst Metro Areas for School Quality, ranks the Las Vegas area as the second worst in the nation when it comes to school quality. From a different report in Vital Measures that predict later success in school and life, it says small children in the U.S. do worse than kids in comparable countries. The report shows on average that American children had lower literacy and numeracy scores, poor self-regulation skills, and engaged in fewer acts of cooperation, kindness, and other pro-social behaviors than did children in England and Estonia, the other countries that they studied. Just about the only bright spot was that U.S. children were roughly equivalent to their international peers on some levels, but not all social emotional measures. Other recent research has shown that about half of American children are not on track in at least one critical area of school readiness. because the report looked at kids who were just starting school. It was a powerful reminder that we have lost sight of something basic, which is that learning begins on the first day of life and not the first day of class. The earliest years of a child's life are full of opportunity. A child's brain will never be more receptive to experience more plastic than it is during this pivotal time. Nearly 85% of brain growth occurs between birth and the age of 3. So during this period, 1 million neural connections per second are formed. 2 decades of child development research tells us that small kids need 2 things above all else to get off to the best possible start. They need a nurturing interaction with caregivers and protection from toxic stress. And so the article goes on and on. I'm not going to read the rest of it, but I do want to talk about the very end of it because it's talking about the poverty level in America. And it says that early in 2020, it was estimated that almost 12 million children in America were living in poverty, a burden disproportionately affecting Black and Hispanic kids, as well as those living in rural areas. And then COVID forced even more parents out of work. So today in 2023, the number of children living in poverty in America is close to 13 million. It says families in Louisiana are hurting the most because their state ranks in the bottom 5 on the difficulty of paying bills and keeping a steady home. Also, I have to talk about the gun violence and school shootings. It says that the gun violence and school shootings are a uniquely American epidemic. Sandy Hook Promise is shining a light on these vital facts and statistics. Each day, children die from gun violence in America. Another 32 are shot and injured. Guns are the leading cause of death among American children and teens. 1 out of 10 gun deaths are aged 19 or younger. Since Columbine in 1999, more than 338,000 students in the U.S. have experienced gun violence at school. There were more school shootings in 2022, 46 than in any year since Columbine. Nearly half of all parents with a weapon in the home wrongly believe their children don't know where their gun is stored. In 4 out of 5 school shootings, at least one other person had knowledge of the attacker's plan but failed to report it. In a comprehensive school shooting study, the Secret Service and Department of Education found that 93% of school students planned the attack in advance. And last, almost all mass shooters shared threatening or concerning messages or images. More than 75% raised concern from others prior to the attacks. So I just had to read some of these statistics, because it's going to help in what I'm going to be talking about today, you guys. So I found the article just because I'm speaking about some of the things, and who's being left behind is our kids. Our kids are being left behind. And so what did you think about some of the statistics that I was talking about? Have you heard that? I'm sure you have, when working for the company that you do. Yeah.
I have heard them. They're alarming.
Yes.
They're disturbing.
Yeah.
It's very sad to hear Nevada, again, ranked so low in education, ranked so high in high school dropout rates. We have the 5th largest school district in the country. And there's a big problem there.
Yeah, I believe so. And hopefully we're going to try and come to some type of resolve or some type of suggestions that we can give. But I want to formally welcome you to the show. Kelly Kristo is the executive director of Project 150. With leadership roles in nonprofits and government organizations, Kelly is a strategic, results-driven leader with a proven ability to spearhead change, conceptualize, and execute innovative, sustainable initiatives. As a compassionate manager with excellent interpersonal and communication skills, Kelly is dedicated to helping homeless, displaced, and disadvantaged high school students remain in school, graduate, and build bright futures. Welcome to the show, Kelly.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show. And before we go any further, Miss Kelly, can you do me a brief favor?
Sure.
Pull out your phone and subscribe to my YouTube station, Food for the Soul Media Group.
I already did.
You did. Good. Thank you so much. And then let your people know that we're here and that they should subscribe to the show. And my first question, Kelly, is I need you to tell us about Project 150 and what you all do and why Project 150.
Yeah. So Project 150 works with homeless, displaced, and disadvantaged high school students right here in Southern Nevada. We do have an office up in Reno.
Okay.
Our mission is basically to provide basic necessities for high school students in need to ensure that they stay in school and graduate. We have a high school dropout rate here in Nevada. So our goal is to make sure that we bridge those gaps for those kids and that we can reduce that dropout rate here in Nevada. We do that in a variety of different ways. We have a boutique where the kids can come and use only their student ID from their high school and pick out 10 outfits for free a month. Hygiene product, food, school supplies. And then we host events during the year to make sure that they have all those other things too, like prom and the fun stuff, graduation.
And why Project 150? What made you think about that organization?
I just loved the mission. I believe that the youth are our future here in this city. I mean, the idea is that those are our future leaders. They're going to be in business, and we should give them tools and resources to be successful so that they can help us as we age out. I mean, eventually we're going to retire,
right?
And we want to make sure that they have the right tools and we equip them with those tools so that they can lead too.
Right. When doing your research, have you found out though why there's so many dropouts in this city specifically? Does it say? Or is it?
It's a combination of things. I feel like, specifically in Las Vegas, we talk about being able to work at a very young age, right? I mean, I went to work at 15. My parents signed a work permit or what have you. I wanted to work.
Okay.
Loved having money, wanted to pay my own bills and buy stuff. And I think that's what's happened today. Kids are attached to these phones with social media and they're showing pictures of, influencers with all this stuff that they get for free. And it's like, that's the goal. And it really shouldn't be. I mean, they're not talking about education. They're talking about material things. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, obviously when you're, given a choice between money and education, right, what do you think a youth is going to do?
Yeah, you're going to choose money.
Right.
At every time. So I want to just talk about some stuff with you, and I'm going to sprinkle some of our segments in between. And I chose the topic Left Behind Going Nowhere because I really want to talk about our kids and our teens in today's new norms. So do you think that we are setting them up for success as parents, leaders, teachers, churches, citizens, or are we setting them up to fail?
That's a loaded question.
I know.
It really is. And again, this is just my personal take on from what I see. Organizations like ours, Project 150 and others that work with this population, we are absolutely setting them up for success. We are undoing what's been done, right? I think there's a lot of work to be done in the household.
Okay.
To make things a little bit easier for the organizations to help with maybe the financial aspect or just bridging the gap. We don't want to be the end all be all where we're almost raising these children. Right. Mm-hmm. We want to be a partner with the parent, if that makes sense. So I think it's a combination of, we want to work with the household. What's going on in the household? What kind of help can we provide? Whether that's getting parents on board with education, financial literacy. How can we help you so that you can pay for things for your children?
Right.
Or what do we need to do better so that we're not seeing so many kids come through our services?
Absolutely. So it's really weird because it's almost like you are trying to set them up to where you don't have a lot of business, right, but then you have a lot of business because you're needed.
Right.
So
I
it's just
wish.
Kind of yeah.
I always say, I hope I'm out of a job someday.
Yeah.
Because then we've solved this problem and
right,
we've helped. But the reality is we're opening a second location here in Las Vegas this summer.
Wow.
The need is that great.
Right. That's what I was about to say. The need is great. Working with the homeless youth population, are they different? Have you seen a difference in them from the youth that are still living at home, like with their parents that have homes? Is there a difference in their attitude? I mean, now I know that there's a difference because one is kind of a nomad, kind of roaming around, but is there a difference in their personalities and how they act? Or do you see the same thing?
No, I definitely don't see the same thing.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
Uh-huh.
The students that are unhoused, mm-hmm, right, that we work with, they have drive, they have passion. Not that the others don't,
Okay.
but there's something different. They know they got to do this on their own, and they're willing to fight. The ones that are housed, a little bit different. I feel like they're still both youth, and they know that they need stuff. And sometimes the ones that are housed might not have the financial means to have it all either. Just because they have the roof over their head does not mean they have access to new shoes or new clothes for the school year, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a touchy subject because you're talking about children like 13 to 16.
Right.
You know, when we talk about homeless, most oftentimes we think of an adult
Right.
on the street, maybe made some poor choices or down on his luck kind of thing. But these are kids,
Yeah.
you know, no fault of their own.
And so you're seeing that most of the kids that you work with, they have a little bit more they have a little bit more drive because they don't possibly have that support that other kids have, whether it's one parent or two parent, you know, both parents or a grandparent
Exactly.
or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we tend to always gripe about social media and the media and how it's controlling our youth. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh, I love social media for certain things.
Okay.
I feel like, in my personal opinion, I feel like the youth shouldn't rely so heavily on that to make decisions, right? We talked about influencers and what that does to these kids at such a young age. They think this is normal life. And here we are educating them in our workshops at Project 150. This is not the reality. You know, you seeing people with millions of followers and getting all these unboxings of promo items. That's not what life is like, you know, for the majority of us.
Right.
So I feel like social media can be great for students that need a true mentor and guidance. It can be great for that. But then it has its downside, you know, where it gives false hope.
Yeah. I can see that. And so I was going to ask, what is it doing to make them so susceptible to that? And I think that you hit the nail on the head. It's giving them false hope that they can be something that possibly they're never going to be because the percentages are so low.
Yeah. And I don't want to shoot anybody's
Yeah.
dreams down that are like, I'm going to be the next influencer. They very well might be.
Right.
I mean, these kids are talented these days. They know
Oh, yeah.
technology better than I do. But I think a lot of it is they think that it's not work. And I don't know that we don't get to see that other side of what an influencer does, right?
Yes.
You don't see, even you hosting your podcast, there's a lot of stuff that goes into this.
Right.
It's not just all fun and games sitting in front of a camera and talking.
No.
It's business.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the part that we miss, and we don't share that this is a dedicated job to get to that level of success.
Okay. And so I'm wondering if we're ever, hopefully, we can suggest that change whenever we're talking to our youth to look behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Look behind the curtain and see what all it takes to be that influencer or what all it takes to be that star athlete. It takes work.
Yeah.
It takes work. And if you're not willing to do the work, then you're probably not going to be in that, you know, in that position. So I'm not sure where New York ranks in the system, but as far as education or violence, but I thought that I read you're from New York, right? So being from there, what are the differences that you see in the education and youth directional here in Las Vegas compared to New York or the East Coast?
Let me start by saying I've been in Vegas since I was 2. Yes,
Oh, okay.
I am
Okay.
from New York.
Okay.
I am familiar with the East Coast. My husband's from Boston, so we see a difference in just the two of us.
Okay.
I mean, I graduated high school here in Southern Nevada. My husband went to high school and elementary school in Boston.
Okay.
There's a vast difference in education system. I'm not going to say that I was a complete failure in high school, but definitely more laxed than the structure that is on the East Coast.
Okay.
And I think there was a lot more family involvement on the East Coast. There's a lot more, we sit down at the dinner table together, we do homework at night.
Okay.
Here, most parents are working graveyard shift jobs in these casino businesses. So it's really hard to have any one-on-one time with your child to even work with them on their education. You know, so I think there's just that difference of the structure of how education goes in our household.
Well, moving out here, and I hated to say it, and I know people who live here probably would get on me, but I felt like being able to kind of work in the school system with what I do, I feel like that some of the schools are just grooming the children to work in a casino. Like they're not, I don't feel like they have a whole lot of programs for them to be free thinkers or to be able to feel like they can open up their own business. And I just don't know if I see that out here.
And it depends on where you look.
Okay.
Because I'm involved with the school district, daily. There are some amazing magnet programs in some of our high schools. One of the high schools is known for the robotics team. They do engineering and all kinds of specialty skills. There's an HVAC program that teaches kids to be
HVAC,
yeah, great programs like that to lead them into a career field. Yes, UNLV is a hospitality college. We know that. We do a scholarship program at Project 150 where we award kids with funding to go to college here in Nevada, whether that's UNR, UNLV, CSN. And I will tell you that the majority of our applicants want to go to UNLV or UNR, and it is not a hospitality degree.
Okay, good.
I have nursing students. I have med students. I mean, really, a lot of business students.
Okay, good.
So I feel like, yes, we are known for hospitality, but I don't feel like the students are all going, I want to be in gaming.
Right.
Right.
Okay. I can get with that. Well, we're going to put a pause right there while we get into our next segment of the show, our movie review of the week. And you guys, it's really funny. Watch it.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Talitha Cumi, and we are back with another movie review. And actually we decided to change the name from movie review to movie interpretations because we usually do this for about 5 minutes. It's not really long, and we really don't want to give the movie away. And so it's a lot of stuff we can't talk about, or kind of, it's just difficult. So we decided that we're going to call it a movie interpretation instead of a movie review. So basically we're going to talk about what we feel like the writers or directors are trying to convey with the movie and the interpretation of the movie, and then hopefully you will either want to go see it or say, I pass. So the movie that we are doing today is a movie called Torn Hearts, starring Katie Sagal. And I don't know if that's how you say her name. I'm not really sure.
That's right.
Katie Sagal or Katie Sagal. She is famous for Married with Children. Is it Married with Children?
Yeah.
Okay, Married with Children. And then also famous for Sons of Anarchy. So those are the two things that I remember her in for a really, really long time. Yes, and she's been in, and we found a cool show that was only on for about 2 seasons with her and Judd Hirsch called Superior Donuts. And so those are the three things. Those are Jermaine Fowler. Those are the three things that we've seen her on. But she was the star of this movie. Some other stars, I don't know them very well. Jordan Wilder, Lee Black, Caleb Crawford, Harper Dutch, Richie Rollins, I think. So the movie was about a retired or has-been country singer who was actually a part of a duo, and something happened to her duo partner, and she was kind of living in seclusion, and that's kind of the basis of the movie. But it's a Blumhouse production, so whenever you see Blumhouse, that is probably going to be pretty scary or something that's just way left.
Way true.
Or way true, because they're starting to really just kind of give away a whole lot of secrets and put people on blast nowadays. So Bobby, what did you think that the movie was really about? Like, what was it about?
I'd say the movie was about knowing who's on your team and knowing that everybody on your team isn't playing from the same vantage point, and everybody on your team isn't playing from the same skill level.
Okay. So it was trying to warn people of that?
Yeah, I would say it was a stern warning
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you said something about the music industry though when we were talking about it earlier. And do you remember what you said about the music industry? I thought we were talking about sacrifices or something like that or whatever. We were talking about that.
Same kind of. I mean, I was trying to be general with knowing who's on your team.
Yeah.
Because of that, a lot of people aren't playing with the same motives.
Right.
So my motives are to get up, and that's it. So if that be the case, whoever got to step on and sacrifice to get there is who.
Yeah.
You know, but mine is to support. So I'm going to get ran over by this person doing that. You know, that's what I was saying. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The industry is all of that.
Yeah, the music industry. And so I think that it really did depict everything that Bobby was saying, as well as communication. Communication is key. Whenever you are in a partnership, relationship, anything like that, and this movie really showed what people's true feelings were. And a lot of times we, as just human beings, we don't like to get dirty, or we don't like to say the harsh stuff. Sometimes we don't like to stay in our lane. And so we'll keep stuff to ourselves for years and years and years, play the background or do whatever it is we do, knowing full well that we want something else. That we don't want this, or we don't want that, or we don't like this, or we don't like that. And we never say anything to our partners or to our people that we're working with. We just keep it hidden, and then it blows up. One day you're talking, next thing you know, hell breaks loose, and you're like, what the heck? Well, I thought we were cool. No, I've been holding this in for the last 20 years, and now I decided to tell you, you know, and then things go awry. You can know your team all day long.
You can't know your team if you don't communicate.
For instance, me and Bobby are on the same team. We're working on a project or whatever it is. So Bobby pretty much kind of knows me. He knows what I like, what I don't like, all these things. But if we're working on a project together and there's something that I want to do, or something that needs to be said or anything like that, and I don't voice my opinion, or I don't say anything, or I don't communicate, what do you think about this idea, Talitha? Oh yeah, I think it's great. What do you think about this? Oh yeah, Bobby, do your thing. And then something happens to where I'm like, oh, I don't like that. But I never say anything to Bobby. Right? Communication. Anyway, so that's what the movie was about. It was really, really good. Out of 5 stars, I'm going to give it a 5. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Thoroughly enjoyed the message. It was kind of scary. It was actually reminiscent of when we finished it. I said it was reminiscent of Juice.
Yeah.
It was reminiscent of Juice. So if any of y'all have seen Juice, you remember Juice? I think it was the 80s. Was it 80s or 90s?
90s.
A 90s movie starring Omar Epps and Tupac Shakur. Then you will understand why I said that it was it reminded me of Juice.
Yeah.
But anyway, I say go see it. Bobby's really tired right now. As you can see, we're in our pajamas, getting ready to go to bed. But go see it on, was it Prime?
Yeah.
I want to say it might have been Prime. Bobby's really sitting here falling asleep. So I think it was Prime. If you got Prime, go watch it. Tell us what you think. And we will talk to you soon.
It wasn't Peacock or nothing, right?
I don't think it would. It might have been. It was one of those. Prime,
No,
Peacock. It wasn't Netflix, and it wasn't Tubi.
Black. You
Okay.
gotta say black after that because it's to be black. Once you get on there, you learn how to be black.
We'll see you guys later. Peace.
Bobby has so many issues. And we're back. I am talking to Kelly Kristo, Executive Director of Project 150 here in Las Vegas. So I just want to get right down to who we are blaming. Kelly, who is ultimately responsible for our kids being left behind?
Again, another loaded question.
Yes.
I don't want to say we're blaming anybody. I feel like maybe it's more of, where can we do better, right? Where can we help parents? Where can we educate them a little bit better on what's needed from them for a child in high school? Like, sit down with them, do their homework, help them, maybe not have them watch their younger siblings because they need their own time too. Maybe finding that balance that we're looking for.
Okay.
Part of the issue is, and it's not really a blame, but some of the reasons why students end up homeless, an example would be gender identity issues, right? So child may come home and want to have a conversation with parents about issues that, they're feeling, and it's not well received, right? So social media, again, not the culprit, but part, says, hey, it's okay to have this conversation and be open and honest. Do it. So the kid's pumped up, ready to go home and have that conversation, right? Mom and dad aren't ready for that. We didn't give them the tools to understand how to receive that information and how to respond accordingly. And it's not for everyone,
Right.
but then parents go, you know what? Out.
Right.
And so kids' bags are packed and put on the curb, and now we've got a student, youth, child on the street.
And so, and this is a question that wasn't even on my sheet, but so the LGBTQ community, do you see most of them that are the homeless youth? A lot of them?
I'm not going to say a lot of them. There are few. And for the most part, when we sit down and talk with a student in need and we find out what led to their circumstance of being unhoused, a lot of times it is gender identity issues.
And so it's then I'm going to go out on a limb, and blame the parents. Because I feel like no matter what's going on in your child's life, that's your child. Now, even, like if you don't agree with their lifestyle, fine. Once they get older, then they can go and do whatever it is they do. But to put them out of the house for having, those issues, to me, is just kind of, it's far left to me. It's like really just, I think it's too much.
So what we want to avoid is, we don't want children out on the street, obviously,
Right.
but parents need to understand your children are not disposable.
Right.
They didn't ask for any of this.
Right.
And now they have to navigate a system that is foreign to them. They have no idea what to do.
Right.
I mean, could you imagine being, 16 years old on the street?
Right. Trying to figure
What do you do?
Because it's hard enough for adults. So like you said, you're putting a 13, 14-year-old out there like, hey, just do
Figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah. And it's like, what are you talking about? Are there any types of programs that you have seen really work for our youth that have been handed a bad scenario, like as they're just trying to get together besides your program, the 150 program? Are there other programs out here or programs that you've heard of, maybe in schools or something, that's really kind of helping youth not be unhoused?
Yeah, there are several. I mean, in Nevada alone, we do have shelters for youth. The problem is there's just not enough. We have more youth on the street and needing housing than we can put roofs over their head.
Got it.
We shouldn't even be talking about having homeless youth shelters. I mean, isn't that disturbing enough?
Yeah,
that we even
it
have them, But there are great programs out there that help students navigate through whatever it's going to be, shelter up until they're ready to get employment, help them save money to get their own place. We step in while they're in high school, make sure they have clothes so that they can, if they are working, save their money to help get on their feet, and they don't end up in this situation, breaking this cycle that they've lived through with parents or grandparents. We don't want to ever see this again.
Absolutely. Do you work with any pregnant teens? Do you work with pregnant teens?
We have a few.
Okay.
We do have some students that have come to us in a circumstance where they are pregnant. We encourage them to stay in school. The schools are very receptive these days. I mean, it's not like the old days where if you were pregnant, you don't
they
go
sent
back to
you
school,
away, right?
We receive students better because it's education first and foremost. We want to educate them, and being pregnant doesn't mean you can't have an education. You can sit in the classroom pregnant.
Absolutely. I agree.
I don't encourage that.
Yeah. So we're not telling you,
we're not telling you
that, but we're telling you that if you are, you can come and get help. Right. So you guys, when we come back, we're going to have more from Kelly, but after this short commercial break.
The Last Temptation by Talitha Cumi Burst. Take one.
Look, see we chilling now.
Right there.
Come on, Lady Courtney doing the flip. I got pictures of Daddy in here. I just gotta find them Jones. I gotta find them. I know I got pictures of Daddy. Look.
Isla Cole, originally from Kansas City, Missouri, residing in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I am Renee Bolden from Kansas City, Missouri.
I'm Ken Bell from Duarte, California.
I'm Marcus Bolden. The Last Temptation.
My name is Joseph Bolden, via from California and Dallas, Texas.
I'm Chris Davis from Dallas by way of Indianapolis.
My name is Jackie Lacey and I'm from Dallas, Texas.
My name is Bruce Hunter from Dallas, Texas.
I'm Charmaine Baycott from Dallas, Texas.
Hi, I'm Floyd Green from Dallas, Texas.
I'm Loretta Bolden. I'm from Houston, Texas.
Courtney Porter, baby boy.
Big Bobby B, this is The Last Temptation.
He chose us in him before the foundation of the world. And we've been called out from the world. And the reason why we've been called out from the world, because God wants us to reflect his image. Because in many cases, in some people, the only image of the Lord that they will see, they'll never go into the doors of a church. It's going to be you and I. It's going to be our lives. Amen?
And we are back. If you just joined us, you're tuned in to the I Am Talitha Cumi show by Food for the Soul Media Group with me, Talitha Cumi, live on FB and YouTube on Food for the Soul Media Group and Vegas Hype Media. And you guys, I have a huge announcement. I will be hosting the orange carpet at the Las Vegas Black Film Festival April 20th through April 23rd, and we will be broadcasting live on the carpet that weekend for the I Am Talitha Cumi show on April 22nd. I'm also going to have Miss Michelle, the founder of the LVBFF, on the show April the 14th. We're talking movies, Las Vegas actors, white Hollywood, black Hollywood, and more. So if you're interested in attending the festival, please go to www.lasvegasblackfilmfestival.com and get your tickets or passes today. So y'all, we're talking about stuff, and if you want to talk about it with us, leave us a comment in the comment section about what your thoughts are. So I want to get back to it, Kelly, and I'm going to bring back our flip story of the week. So on the news flip of the week, we find some news and we see how we can flip it or what kind of positive spin we can put on it. So I don't know if we could put a positive spin on this, but I'm going to try it. And I had a whole nother article planned, but this was hot off of the press. And so I had to do it. I had to address it. So in other news, FedNow is here. Not sure if you've heard about it. The Federal Reserve's digital payments system, which it promises will help speed up the way money moves, will debut in July, but they will begin testing it beginning tomorrow. FedNow, as it will be known, will create a leading-edge payment system that is resilient, adaptive, and accessible, said Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin, who is the program's executive sponsor. The system will allow bill payments, money transfers such as paychecks and disbursements from the government, as well as a host of other consumer activities to move more rapidly and at a lower cost, according to the program's goals. The institutions that participate in the program will have a 7-day, 24-hour access as opposed to a system currently in place that is closed on the weekends. And so as I was actually looking up the info and everything, looking up the CBDC that they keep referring to, I found out that CBDC stands for Central Bank Digital Currency, which is basically what this program is. But let me tell you the pros and the cons that they listed. A CBDC could lead to transactions that are much faster, cheaper, and more secure, which benefits everyone involved. In countries that create retail CBDCs, consumers can get direct access to central bank funds. Many countries have large unbanked populations, and CBDCs could help solve this problem. Consumers wouldn't need to risk storing their money with a commercial bank that could potentially collapse. As long as their country's central bank is stable, their funds are safe. Since all CBDC transactions are recorded on a digital ledger, money is much easier to track this way. That could help authorities detect fraud and other illicit activities. On the other hand, there are several drawbacks to CBDCs. A country's central bank would have full control over its CBDC. The central bank could, theoretically, decide to put restrictions on the types of transactions it allows. The central bank would have data on every transaction and at least some data on the CBDC's users. Anytime a large organization has so much user data, there's a potential for privacy issues. It will take time for CBDCs to catch on. Some members of the population won't have the means to access digital currencies, and others may be reluctant because they don't trust digital currencies. If consumers have access to retail CBDCs, commercial banks could lose a significant portion of their business. This would be bad for banks and could also impact the stock market, since bank stocks could drop in value. So, is there anything positive we can pull from this? I mean, they've given us the positives, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think, Kelly? And then I'll comment.
I don't know. So this sounds like kind of a Bitcoin thing to me all over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was always on the fence with Bitcoin.
Okay.
You know, it's not tangible.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it. You can't touch it.
Right.
I want to go old school.
Yeah.
I want to hand you paper money.
Yes.
And pay my bills.
Yes.
Right? I don't want this. I don't like the Zelle and the Venmo and all that stuff. I feel like we're opening ourselves up to privacy issues. But then again, on the other hand, how much of our stuff is private anymore?
Right. Do you feel, though, that it is the older generation that's really fighting back on this, and the young people are like, woohoo, we can just do everything at the click of a...
Yeah,
yeah.
I really
do.
It's
us.
It's
We're
us.
like, no,
because,
I don't want it.
we're the old people that are going, stop.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because I work with the younger population and everything is done at the click of a button.
Yes.
Right? Life at the click of a button. Me, I'm still, if I could write checks today, I still would write checks today.
You know, I was so mad. I'm like, I got to get rid of my checkbook. I'm trying to, so. And they taught that in school, too. They taught us how to write checks and how to pay our bills and everything if you had home ec or whatever classes there was out here.
I mean, it just prepared you for adult life, right?
Right.
But the other part of that is it's a litmus test for me. When I sit down and used to write out the checks, I know I paid the bills for the month. I'm good.
Yes.
This auto pay, bills don't even come in the mail anymore.
No.
Everything comes in my email. I don't read 2,000 emails.
Yeah.
I got work emails and personal emails. My bills get lost in there sometimes.
That is what I'm saying. I will look up and something is automatically withdrawn. I'm like, oh my gosh, that just clashed with something else I had. I don't remember all these doggone dates.
Right.
So yeah, I'm with you. I think that this is the closest thing that we're going to get to the new world order. So I feel like they're just trying to usher that in really, really fast by proposing this system. So I don't know how fast people are going to grab a hold to it. But it's almost like we're already there. Like, because I have Cash App. Mm-hmm. And in my business, I do a lot of Cash App transactions where I never physically see, that money. And then with a lot of houseless people on the streets, they're like, hey, can you spare it? And I don't carry cash anymore.
Right.
So we're kind of already there, And so I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I like it too much.
I don't love it. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I hope it's not, this is the only way it will be done. I hope we'll still have a choice to do it for folks like me.
Yeah.
Who prefer still to do things the other way. Just don't take away what I'm comfortable doing.
Right.
Give me an option.
And I always refer to my aunt on the show. I love you, Aunt Ala, shout out. She is a cosmetologist. Her and my brother is a barber. And so they really deal a lot with paper money still.
Yeah.
And she doesn't do anything with her debit card. She hates it. So she's like, here's paper money. I got to go to the bank real quick and get it out. And so if they close the banks on her, I don't know what she's going to do.
There's a lot of people that'll be like that.
Yeah,
my parents are like that.
Yeah, I don't know what she's going to do. And she's not on, she has a DOS computer, I think. Me and Bobby went over to her house. We're like, well, what is this thing? What is this thing? And she still types on it and everything. So she's not paying bills, on the internet. So I'm worried about that. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I hope that they have two options for us, hopefully. But I want to thank you so much for joining us this evening, Kelly. I want to know if Project 150 has anything coming up that we can support, and then how we can follow you guys on social media.
We do have some stuff coming up. Scholarship award season is coming up right here in June. We're going to award over $250,000 in scholarships.
Woo.
Over 100 kids going to college.
Okay.
So the luncheon is in June. We would love to come back on and talk about that.
Okay.
Maybe do an interview with the kids and hear the success story.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
I've got 21 graduating this fall from college.
Oh,
so
wow.
we could do something.
Yeah.
And then there's always opportunities to volunteer. So anybody that's listening and wants to come out and work with, us and do stuff, project150.org, you can come out and give us a hand. We love the support.
And that's how I found you guys, actually. I work for the Girl Scouts, my day job, and we met Stacy, and I loved what she was doing. I want to say we met her at a back-to-school function, and so Bobby and I have been volunteering since then, and whenever the Girl Scouts can get in there, I try and get them in there to volunteer, and it's just very rewarding. I think it's really, really rewarding.
And I love the partnership with the Girl Scouts and Project 150, you know, so I think it's great.
And my final question is, what the world needs now is what?
Oh, we need peace.
Okay.
We just need peace. We need to just calm down, slow down, love each other, for God's sakes. I can't, can't even turn on the news anymore without it being heartbreaking stuff that's happening all over. And I just sit there and ask why, and we'll never know why people do things. But I think what we need now is just peace.
Okay. And those are the sentiments of most of my guests: peace and love. And so I agree with that wholeheartedly. As we close the show out, please keep in mind that we are looking for positive artists who would like to have a live featured performance to end my show every week. I'm a lover of all things music, and I really would like to showcase you and give you a platform to do your thing. You can be a Christian artist or a secular artist, but we just need music with some substance and positivity. If you're interested, you can go to our website at www.foodforthesoulmediagroup.press and go to our Artist Spotlight tab and submit your music, or email us at foodforthesoulpresents@gmail.com for more information, and you could be our next guest. So you guys, we don't have an artist this week, so I thought I'd play a video from an artist that I really enjoy. She has her own style, own sound, and her voice is just super sick. I love her. And here is Chrisette Michelle with God Bless the Child.
Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible said, and it still is news. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Yes, the strong get more while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets don't ever make the grade. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Money's got you lots of friends crowding all around your door. When you're gone and spending ends, they don't come no more. Rich relations get crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, please don't take too much. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. God bless the child that's got his own. God bless the child that's his own. He's got his own.
Well, that is our show. I stole that from YouTube, you guys. Tune in every Friday to the I Am Talitha Kume show at 7:30 p.m. on our FB page and YouTube station, Food for the Soul Media Group or Vegas Hype Media, and tell your people. Catch our Rewind show every Wednesday, same time, 7:30 p.m. on our YouTube station. And don't forget to follow me on all of my social media platforms at I Am Talitha Kume and Food for the Soul Media Group. Our show tonight has been sponsored in part by Orlay Worldwide, Big Bobby B Beats, Project 150, the Las Vegas Black Film Festival, and Eccentric Soul Productions. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.